things like that to kind of, elevate the region in the best possible position. So hopefully, we'll see that from some of these teams. But for now, Komodo, no more rambling from us. It is time for Nuke. And yeah, I don't know. As we sort of lent to, it's an exciting one. No real reps on the board this season as of yet for Arcade. But yeah, very common ground for a lot of these teams. So let's dive straight into it, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'll throw Gump into the roster as well, right? Someone that we might have just overlooked in all of our talkings. A player who's kind of always been on a lot of people's radar to just be a solid rifler too. So I think I'm going to be interested to see what he's going to be able to bring back into this roster. Of course, we've seen him, on a bunch of different orged teams before. Even, part of Chiefs once upon a time, for example. But let's see. Mindfreak starting on the CT side. Arcade on the T side, and already damage done.
Yeah, straight away. Ricky being able to find one, but Foggers with the trade back. Triplus does actually manage to get another one on a Texter a little while away. They're trying to force in towards Annex here. Looks like there's actually going to be a bit of initiative taken out by Payne, so he should gather some information. I don't think they're actually ready for it on the other side of the door. Gump in tow. Tux takes one. That's the bomb dropped as well by Payne. And Foggers with Versa left on his lonesome, but Foggers might have slipped the wickets here.
I'll have to wait and see, because the deliverance of damage is what Arcade need to find a bomb plant too. But Versa is doing all of the damage, and now Foggers spots out where the last soldier in Gump actually is. So a pretty good recovery to come through for Arcade, claiming pistol.
Absolutely. Capitalization, they take the control of lobby, push around door, but Foggers has, slipped the net the entire way. So that's a really good result there from Arcade to be able to turn it on its head. Happy days. And we start off 1-0 here.
Yeah, and remember, this is, still early in the season as well. So if you're playing against teams that aren't your Rooster and that aren't your FlyQuest, you want to be trying to maximize the amount of rounds that you are getting. You want to make sure that you got comfortability with the roster as well. And I guess you can go further on while we've got this secondary round here, Mitch, to also just say that Mindfreak no longer have to deal with Rooster. That's done. So they should be looking to kind of, close out the remainder of the games essentially as best as they can. So fixing up any early weaknesses. Space on the CT side is always going to be a problem on Nuke as well. You need to make sure you're getting your rotations nicely done. The stack of players, though, up out of heaven, that works nicely.
Yeah. See you later, Kobe. A little bit of a roughie there. Plenty of good outside utility, though. It seems like there's some pretty good fundamentals going on here. Tux has been tagged up, and they do find their way in towards lowers as well. Two members here defending. Gump doesn't really have a whole lot to sort of do it with, though. It was a complete and utter save outside of a couple of minor bits of utility.
Yeah. Don't really need to see Arcade explode into this lower side either, because there's still two players in the uppers. Although with the door opening, Gump doesn't expect Foggers to already be towards observation. So very split Arcade in positions at the moment, which means that these rifles can fall. They can get stolen.
Absolutely. And Foggers had the molly out to try and cover off Dark there, but he tries to take the fight instead and goes almost 1-for-1 with Payne. Running forward towards it. Does get the molly down. Triplus finds Texter, but taken up from uppers. There's only 25 seconds left here, Komodo. Tux has found a second. Dinked up will be Versa. Tux is absolutely throwing some pop shots here. Molly should go up in towards heaven. Void will be able to find that one back. So, A-okay for just a second. Now as they look to come up the vents, Void's going to be able to do that one. And now Ricky in the 1v1. Void should just be able to find it, but oh no! Ricky has secured the round, and my god, Tux a hero from heaven.
Yeah.
It's up 2, and that is just a round that you never want to see if you're an Arcade fan.
I mean, I mentioned it earlier for the CT side, right? When it comes towards space, you want to make sure that you're covering all your angles and your possibilities for Arcade to, dance around outers, get down towards lowers, for example. But when they shimmy back up towards uppers, you also kind of need to be heads up on where your CTs have rotated towards, right? Arcade getting the plant down, losing a couple of these guns, it gets problematic. But I think the big thing for Ricky there, right? He starts to take some shots through the hut. It doesn't matter if the damage is being delivered at the moment. It just reveals where his opponent is, and he's managing to just swing out and find the shot at the end of the day. So that is around, that it is a blunder for Arcade. Yes, they get the plant, so yes, they can force up some pistols and get a lot of utility in towards this one. But I'm looking towards Payne at the moment. Already getting the AWP out into the mix in round number 3. If he's able to really find some damage and solidify some warmth in towards the server, that's definitely going to be an avenue for Mindfreak to really put some pain into the round.
So how they're going to approach this one. Good opening shot there from Void. Has had a nice couple of frags. sort of pausing for a little bit now. Outside control taken. Utility will fade in just a second. Looks like they're keen to get towards lowers once more. Texter will be taking point here.
Ooh.
Great shot, though, from Kobe. A little bit of a sidewinder there. And Arcade looking to try and fight this round straight back in the 5-on-3.
Yeah, remember, they brought utility into this round as well. And there's another shot to come out from Kobe. So things go from bad to worse for Mindfreak. A 2 versus 5 for the recovery now. Onto an ace for Ricky if he can try and clutch this one out. It's going to be hard.
Absolutely. Fogger's backside in towards Decon as well. We've got another inverser. Rather, that's Kobe, sorry. But, yeah, all trapped in. Already having Void inside lobby. He's picked up that M4 from earlier on. Don't actually know where he got that opening pick. Must have been up towards Silo. Find that first Eagle shot. But really great round from Arcade there. But you kind of feel like it was, Mindfreak potentially giving up their cards a little bit too much.
Yeah, you gotta be problematic or worried rather, because they were all isolated duels that were being fought as well. Mindfreak didn't have any tandem plays, didn't have anybody holding angles together. It was kind of all individual, right? They have the better weaponry, play the longer lines, but a couple of sinister deagle shots come out and gets the better of you, right? So these are the things, these are discussion points that Mindfreak are gonna have to discuss nice and early into these CT rounds. And now we're actually seeing an aloof buy to come through from the CTs, and Ricky is bringing out Old Faithful himself. No more for pain. So I'm going to show you how the old man does it.
A veteran of the scene, old Rick.
Still got it. Let's see.
Yeah. Pain there, taking point. Might be able to find this opening shot onto Foggers. Foggers actually with the little stutter step, though. Be able to find that one nice and quickly. Gump with the CZ, not the best weapon from up in heaven. They're actually choosing to start to fall back here as well. Void does swing in, gets punished by Tux. It's all starting to fall apart here for Mindfreak, but it's a trade back 1-for-1. 3-on-3 now. Triplets will pick up another, but there's Versa and Foggers to close. So the force in for Mindfreak, unfortunately, doesn't quite get the work done there. 3 alive, weapons secured, money broken for Mindfreak, and this is where it should start to stabilize for the next little bit.
Got a little bit close in terms of the HP at the end there for the 3 remaining Arcade players as well. Relatively low, so in a world that they miss a shot or two, it could have definitely been a different outcome. Imagine if there's only 1 player in outers, for example, instead of the 2 to get the trades out from Versa. There's all these little instances that are being thrown differently into these rounds by Arcade and unanswerable by Mindfreak at the early time with these force-ups. So this is where we'll start to see probably the scoreline start to stabilize a little bit if Arcade can double down. Of course, their weaponry as well isn't technically the greatest when you consider a Mac 10 in the mix, but they know they're up against the USPs. They know they're up against some very lackluster buy. The Mac 10 actually doesn't net any reward, unfortunately.
Good thing is they've got sight. Should be able to get the bomb planted nice and easily. Obviously, Heaven rotation coming through. Nobody walking in through Annex. Looks like 4 are actually going to be waltzing towards that Heaven position.
Nice nade.
HE's pretty good. Gump just going for the rotation. Might be able to pick up Versa here. Not sure if he's actually going to be ready for this, but I'm pretty sure Mindfreak are happy to just throw the round away and ultimately just
look for damage.
Find some frags.
Remove any of these guns from Arcade if you can into the next round. Make it closer to a reset on that economy to force them into a save.
Oh,
premature from Gump.
Yeah, he just went the wrong way, didn't he?
Oh,
How is Tux finding these frags as well?
Got an AK now as well, and there's his third in the round. There's only Versa surviving, and maybe not for too much longer. 13 HP, but everybody up with the bloody bomb. Look, the round is won by Arcade. It's fine. They've got money. As I said, you're just looking for these kills. You're looking to see if you can reset them. Not in this round, but maybe the next or the next after.
All I'm saying is, man, whoever says OCA CS isn't exciting is just lying.
Oh, it's entertaining, really. Yeah, because you can't predict anything.
Yeah. These rounds have been super chaotic. I don't know, Tux just like super sharp there.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking up like, I'm sitting here talking up Pain for a little bit. Obviously hasn't had, a chance to activate just yet. It's still only the first 5 rounds, but Tux is, just hitting pot shots with the USP. No issues.
Well, here we go.
A little bit of a faster control outside now.
Yeah, but do they overlook Texter? They absolutely do. Shadow advantage and the bomb. No, actually, I've been
Nope,
baited.
that's
not
a
the bomb.
Molotov.
That's a Molotov, yep. I'm blind. Versa has the bomb and an AWP still in play. What I was going to say is for Pain at the moment, with the names on this roster as well, you don't want to see him kind of fall away into the shadows too, right? Because we know him as an up-and-coming AWPer. If Ricky's going to be playing Prime AWP, he has to be delivering elsewhere at the moment, and it's looking like he needs to be supporting the team in this 4 versus 4. A little bit of utility, but not too much for the CTs.
Biggest thing, always having those new up-and-comers join the old court to develop them accordingly. But bit of a standoff here. Fogger's ultimately finding that first outside door, but does fall away. So they're just sitting outside now. 50 seconds left. Plenty of time to work with. Free topside's going to be tough to overwhelm, though, here, Komodo.
Yeah, there's one flash for Gump, but he needs his weapon out at the moment because that's where Arcade is starting to look towards. 3v3.
Gump's just waiting. Don't want to overextend here. Texter, one does get taken
Line
down, but
them
they'll
up.
line up for Gump. Very nicely done. And Ricky to find himself up towards heaven as well. So really good timing there. Great patience from Mindfreak. You know, pretty simple basics there. They didn't overstay. They didn't overstep. Just set up the crossfires and were able to work it out. So great patience and trigger discipline, I think, as well from Gump. And good job to Ricky for picking up the pieces as well. So the scoreline starts to tighten up a little bit here. The money obviously is there for Arcade to buy into this one, but it's not perfect. Kobe's not really got a whole lot of cash to work with. So they're going to call for the tack timeout and give it for the next.
Fogger should be able to drop over an AK here to him as well, and then they'll be able to buy up. He might just be on a little bit lackluster weaponry, right? So we'll see. See what the decision is going to be from Arcade, because we've seen the toying with the outer wall of smokes. We've seen them creeping up and really playing late. You know, a couple of different allotments down towards B, up towards A, but not too much over towards ramp, right? We're kind of seeing a little bit of suppressive utility coming in from Mindfreak, which also might suggest that if Arcade do go towards there, they want a helpful handing of utility for themselves. So that's going to be one of the things. Go down to a Galil. Get the extra utility as well, because otherwise you're not really going to be able to push Mindfreak off. And in a round such as this, where Arcade do go in with a lot more utility in these Galils, they might look to try and isolate a couple of the members of Mindfreak in outers. Try to find out where that AWP is actually going to be. And I'm actually surprised, Mitch. Tux is the one getting all the kills, but he's got the worst weapon right now in this lobby.
Hey, no surprises. Tux is a unselfish captain.
Well, here's the control of ramp. And completely caught unaware is Foz, but Pain... I mean, you want to sell yourself as an AWPer. You got Ricky on the roster. You got to be hitting them.
Yeah, unlucky, but Tux will make sure that at least there's a level of maintenance here. I think he's going towards lobby, spots out Foggers, gives him a little bit of a tickle of the toes.
And P9 goated.
Yeah, absolutely. Go brr.
And the bomb now in a pretty untenable position to retrieve. That is a gorgeous flash from Pain. And this is where things do start to look a little bit tricky for Void and Versa to bring it back. 2v5, a single flash. As I said, the bomb is in a bit of a annoying position. Should be retrievable, though. Which it will be.
Good control from Versa here. I was going to say Mindfreak only lose this round if they overstep a little bit too much. Void's got too many angles to watch, though. Texter spotted. So he will live on for just another little bit. With 30 seconds left. Just going to go up top. And another good flash through as well to make it a little bit more awkward. So Mindfreak pick up their third. Looks like it should be an eco now for Arcade. So probably just going to pick up a little bit of utility. Maybe try something a little bit faster. Ramp hasn't really been tested. It's just been some top and outside executes.
Yeah, I mean...
Obviously got their top site utility set.
When you look towards what Mindfreak have been doing at ramp, though, they've kind of been going dry, secure, and control together, right? If you're Arcade and you can kind of get in there a little bit earlier with the intent of taking the fight to them, if Pain misses another AWP shot, you might be able to pop a flash in there and overwhelm both of them. And then you got some access in towards flexing around ramp, going down towards B. You can go wrap around towards heaven as well. There's a lot of options that are going to open up there. So I'm wondering if there's going to be, any discussion in this timeout right now from Arcade of what have they actually figured out about Mindfreak's tendencies? Where are they posturing the AWP? Where are they finding a lot of success and control? And it's these crunches around the lobby. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see, maybe not in this round, but when the utility and the weaponry comes back out for Arcade, if they look to play around with those sort of narratives. What do we see now in this eco round?
Only the upgraded pistol for Kobe and Versa. So they're just going to set themselves towards outside again. A little bit more of a patient run.
Another
Payne
missed
does get tagged
shot.
up, but he hits the shot, so it's A-okay.
He missed the first AWP shot, unfortunately, but now he does bring a little bit of stability into it with text up. Just for the moment, though, remember, this is the upgraded pistols, so you do want to hold on to your weaponry as Mindfreak. Your money situation isn't exactly stellar either.
Really just want to not give up too much more here. Painting another. Rickety close, and Versa does walk away with one. But that's an equalized scoreline, 4-4 now.
Yeah, all tied up. We'll see the weapons come back for Arcade. And this is where I kind of want to see them, you know, act on the back of the information they've been able to get, right? That round was a little bit different of style from Mindfreak because they were more focused in towards outer against the pistols. They had some stalling utility over towards ramp that we saw for the smoke and the Molotov. So I do like the changes up, right? Mindfreak, they're changing up where they're playing, where they're positioning, where they're putting strengths, playing the almost 3-1-1. Playing on the back of where Arcade are going to be dropping a bunch of utility in this round should be a key indicator as well on how Mindfreak are going to discipline themselves and rotate around the map. Just currently one player in outers in Kobe, who's already managed to sneak himself up towards the red box, but the wall of smokes is going to provide just a little bit of obscurity before anything happens in outers.
All right. Foggers tries to make an entrance in, but it's a little bit too easy for Tux towards Annex there.
Yeah.
The door opens up. Foggers ultimately does manage to find the one, but just the way that Mindfreak were able to collapse on that really, really swiftly, it just makes me sort of feel a little bit like the topside execute wasn't sorted too well just there. Obviously, Annex open, not smoke there. Maybe they try to fight the fight, but
it's a little bit
just
readable.
How quickly they were able to wrap. Yeah, I don't know.
A little bit readable for Mindfreak. It's the waterfall smoke as well that Tux is kind of already aware of what's going to be happening, right? We got the flood out through door, through hut, and then one little late lurker kind of at the same time flooding in towards the site with the drop down, and Tux is just in the right position at the right time. The team is very aligned in how to play the defensive structure around the A site there. So it's nicely done from Mindfreak, all things considered. Now just these pistols upgraded again for Arcade, and in outers, it's just a festive frag being attempted because everyone's bloody everywhere.
Payne getting a little bold there as well. Up in position with the AWP, obviously got stuck on an island trying to get into position. Finds a nice shot. Here's second, straight through the smoke. There we go, connecting with some shots here. Payne actually finding a third here. Will he get the fourth with the AWP? No, not quite. That CS2 AWP is a pain in the backside. And now Void 1 versus 3. Not really a whole lot he can do here, so Gump will close off that round. But yeah, I don't know. Arcade seem to have sort of lost their way a little bit in these last few rounds. Obviously not a whole lot of gun rounds with full execution to go off of. There's been a lot of kind of, you know, half buys or force buys or whatever. So I don't really feel like we've seen a full opportunity to it. But as we move in towards the latter part of the first half, looks like Arcade may only be picking up 4 here, but they've got another opportunity to try and equalize with this full buy now.
I mean, you look towards the history of Arcade as a core with Void, Triplus, and Foggers. They've played Nuke before against the old BNK. They lost pretty significantly, I'd say 13-5. So, you know, coming into this map, that's why we're talking about Mindfreak kind of winning the veto. But so far, 4 rounds on this T side is not too bad. If they're able to establish a couple more here with some opening kills, maybe, that would be a good recipe to find some damage. But when you lose a shot like that with no trade in outers and Payne's down to half HP, that's where it gets a little bit worrisome.
Yeah, absolutely. Payne finally hitting his shots now. Komodo must have heard you talking smack. Texas going to be in a reasonable position. Good molly. Some decent fundamentals now. Payne not getting too overzealous there. Obviously dropped down to 11 HP. Tagged up. So instead he just gets the utility out. Allows Texas to support from the ramp position. And Kobe's found some good timing, but ultimately I think they'll start to be somewhat aware of that. Surely the silence will make it a little bit more obvious.
Well, Kobe did just hear the ladder, so there's an idea of timing that might be a bit of a virtue right now for Arcade. He's not spotting anyone out just yet, so maybe there's some trigger discipline to find. 2 is the magic number that you're looking for right now. There's the 2.
We get a third. Payne's inside the hut. Tex are ready to find Kobe.
Did he see the gun barrel, maybe?
I don't think so. Kobe's surely aware of it. Tex is trying to walk his way up right now.
Texter
Kobe
knows.
is well and truly aware of it. Yeah, absolutely.
Texter must have seen the gun barrel of that AK or something because he thinks better of going back up towards heaven.
Oh, Kobe.
Kobe's still up there, solidified. So there's the third kill that will come from that, not dropping onto the site whatsoever.
The info too. On for the ace here right now. It's going to be Kobe to find it. No, Versa. He will be able to take it. It's all on the Texter in this 1 versus 2. Great flick shot. Now Versa just has to hold on. Knows exactly where he is though. Just going to drop it. Running out of time for the defuse. Does have the kit, but I think he might not have this one. Versa now spotting. Gets the timing. Gets the info. And that's going to be the round secured as well. So massive round from Kobe. 2 versus 5 for Arcade.
Yeah.
So not really the kind of rounds that you want to be relying on, but a round nonetheless that should at least make this final round, you know, so somewhat doable for them emotionally.
Yeah. I mean, that was actually huge. I thought for sure that there was just solidified information that they knew was still up at the heavens. I thought Texter might have seen the gun barrel because, you know, did he run around to Mustang? Is he dropped down on towards the site later to help out his boy? There was some hesitancy, I feel like, from Mindfreak on that retake there. 2 versus 5 as well should never be falling down. That's what happens when you just get a bit of timing into this game and favor you. But as you said, 6 versus 5, you want to see the double up for Arcade, and this is just a lobby push single by Gump. I don't know how he's managed to get away with that, Mitch, and now there's only a Versa.
Absolutely. Just made it look a little bit too easy. Ricky's going to be able to find that close, and you got to be happy with the 7 of 5. Will they be able to bring it back? We'll find out after the break. And we are back into it now, Komodo. switching sides obviously will be Mindfreak. 7-5 is the scoreline. Arcade kind of had a pretty hot start, 4-1, but ultimately did fall off a little bit. Only found some additional success in that additional 2v5 round that was brought out by the boys there. So let's see if they're going to be able to bring this back on the easier CT side.
Well, a pistol round would go good for them if they can double down with a second as well, because remember, they weren't able to convert that over in the first half after securing the pistol. Good cheeky round out for Mindfreak in that scenario, but right now, as you mentioned, the flip up is here, and the dualies from Foggers are going to try and make a start to the round, and answer not coming out just yet, and I'm also wondering for Mindfreak, what is the actual plan right now, because you've got no utility anymore. But you do have a Texter in the heavens.
Absolutely.
And now an A site.
Found the second. Triplus goes up. Texter gets a third. Looking a little bit too easy for the man. That was our Kadir player to watch as well. Can't be able to make quick work of Void. And then Ricky will find the close as well. So the old heads, the old guard, looking pretty damn good here. Tux has been hitting some great shots. And yeah, Texter very much in the server as well. So I don't know, Komodo. Looks like Mindfreak are certainly running up your side of the coin here. But ultimately, as we know, the second round was not secured by the pistol winner, which was obviously Arcade in the previous half. It was Mindfreak to walk away with a cheeky little USP round. So let's see if anything changes here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Arcade just go for the standard stack somewhere around the map for themselves in this round, see what damage they can do. It's looking to be the upper A site that they're going to elect to do that right now. So again, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Mindfreak just kind of layer down their utility and then start to just scale in towards the site. Already Tux has an idea of what's happening. Hey lads, they've stacked. Just be careful. Or don't even tend towards the site and drop down towards B, because that's also a valid thing.
Uh-oh. Boy does find one. Quick little dink out into paint. But he can just hold his position for now. Void actually does walk away with a second. Ricky does get dinked again. And it's just going to be Tux to mow his way up the vents.
How do you do?
And it is crazy. I still remember this, like, all the way back, right? Like, this is running it so far back now. But it was in, like, CGP or something like that. Sniper hadn't played competitive. He was coaching Legacy for quite some time. Hadn't played any competitive for a little while. Maybe played around with some matchmaking here and there. But he drops in. Legacy at the time was like top 4, top 5 in the region, something like that. And he ends up joining and like dropping 35 as a sub. You know, it just seems that the guys that were raised kind of from that like late 1.6 era into Source into now just have like a whole nother understanding of the game, you know, versus some of the new and sharper players.
Would you even throw Go as its own era? I think you would.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, Go definitely had its own era, now into CS2, which, you know, plays again differently in its own right. Well, obviously, people are pretty sick of Subtick.
Yeah, there's a bit of a problem in this round right now, though, because whilst Gumper's gone down the vent, there's a bit of a late alert to come through from Triplus now as well, and the doors, yeah, you can't open them when there's a body on the other side. So
no.
Unfortunate.
That's almost round over, isn't it? Not really a whole lot to can do. Ricky's holding from Marshmallow down the bottom of it. Finds the second as well. Triplus does make quick work of Tux, but it's just too hard. Verse is going to be able to find another, but it's a 1v4, now 1v3, and I think he just saves. But look, the crazy part about that from Mindfreak is they'd won the round when it was a 5v4.
Yeah, I mean, just getting gumped down the vent and, you know, Triplus kind of has the idea that that's already happened through the smokes, but just recognizing the fact that he kind of should go for his own little flank. The fact that Mindfreak had already getting the bomb plant down, have already found the kill, established a foothold and a stronghold. Their lurk is working better than, unfortunately, Triplus was able to get out as well, because he only found one. It's exactly as you say. Mindfreak have a firm grasp on how they want to play this T side right now, and now they're going to look to get another round free of charge, right? There's going to be no heavy investment from Arcade. You're going to build up your own cash as Mindfreak, and this is where you look towards them kind of figuring out in the first half, I feel like, essentially how the team is going to mesh, who's going to establish what roles in an official capacity, because this is the first game with these 5 players playing together. And you know, I think if they do continue a good run, they're going to be a damaging team, but it also gives Arcade the chance right now to, on their next gun round, figure out these are the scenarios that they need to be figuring out, where they are weak, where they are strong, how they're going to face against them later on in ECL.
Gunpowder tag down. We'll find Kobe though in the process. Paint can't quite find one. Triplus only gets one as well before he's quickly traded. So, I don't know. It's just this level of confidence that Mindfreak are running around with right now. Foggers is going to be able to secure a weapon. Will he find his way towards vents? They're actually running up. I don't know how much I like that from Ricky, but look, Foggers taken very, very low. And again, I think it looks like he might be saving. Try to fake the audio. Going to be looking to drop down vents. Pain waiting for him already.
An AK would be a nice valid gun to bring into the next round, of course. You know, it'll help your team to balance out the economy a little bit as well for the almost flawless run that Arcade would need to go for if they want to win this without an overtime territory being in play. You also want to try and do damage towards Mindfreak's economy, right? Because it isn't established too much at the moment. But priority on the AK, putting on the Nikes and running the hell away as well, because with those bomb radiuses, they will get you. They will tickle you. And this is just that eco round, right? To come through from Arcade. So I think it's all right. This is where we need to test them. This is where we need to see what sort of defenses Arcade are going to have on this map. Because if it falls here, that probably is the map gone.
Yeah, definitely. So much work to do for Arcade. Obviously, it's on the easier side being CT. But Mindfreak, yeah, I don't know. Just the level of confidence that they've got throwing out at the moment. They're kind of running all over Arcade. Arcade haven't got the fundamentals down.
Oh, Versa and Foggers
are having a decent map. Yep. Man, you're living in my head rent-free, Komodo.
Too often.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what this defensive side is going to look like for Arcade. And I say defense because they really need to put up some brick wall here. They need to make sure that Mindfreak can't just roll straight on through it like a wrecking ball. Wall of Smokes and Outers is going to invest a little bit of utility from Arcade just to try and get some eyes on the prize. But at the moment, Mindfreak are just posturing for a bit of a standard A hit.
Straight up heaven. They've got that topside utility set and ready to go. Payne's going to be sending that very, very soon.
Time to be bought by that extra smoke. Is this one of the ones that you look to just disrespect it? I think you do. But no, they're going to think better of it. Dumping the utility, getting a bit of trickle damage on towards Triplus, and then sending it over towards the ramp room where Versus Orp is already off put by a gorgeous flash.
Absolutely. Great flash, but it looks like they're actually keen to take it even further here as well. Fighting in towards elbow, but now they call it. Pull the trigger, head down towards lowers. Versa should be able to find a shot here. No, narrowly misses it. So 5v5. Lower sight not quite secured yet. Triplus has to move upwards. Gump will find him. Not there for Void either. Oh, so rough. I don't know. Arcade just not hitting their shots, not quite connecting. Mindfreak just a, you know, well-oiled unit, it would seem like right now on this T side.
And it doesn't feel like you can go for a good retake as Arcade at the moment as well. You've got no foothold positions in towards this lower site. You don't have a lot of utility. You've got an AWP in play for Versa as well that you definitely want to see what it can do in the next round. Foggers can drop a weapon over for a teammate, but it feels like this is that consideration of you have to fight for an overtime now. Kobe loses a gun, which makes things a little bit worse. And the hunt is on as well. Mindfreak. They want this prey.
Just even calling for the flash in towards the, you know,
not bad.
Save position. Versa a couple of shots, but look, how much is it really worth at this point, right? Okay. Foggers Versa, they'll save their weapons. I mean, look, it definitely helps them out for the potential final round, right?
Yeah.
But again, you know, you've got to string together 7 rounds. Money's still there for Mindfreak. They were well and truly healthy. But yeah, potentially final round of the map so far, Komodo. We will have another in probably sort of 15 or so minutes after this one. We'll take a short break after having a bit of a chat, and then we'll run it back for another best of one between these two teams.
Indeed. Indeed. Make sure you all do stick around for that as well. A different map, as you can't have Nuke again in the BO1x2 territories. But as I said, you know, priority on saving these weapons in the last round. You definitely want to see it net some kind of reward in this one. Kobe's certainly doing something in Outers. Will eventually be bowled by Ricky. But damage done.
Oh, there you go.
Instant equalized by Payne. That's unfortunate for Versa there.
Man, I just feel like Payne wasn't warm. He's hit a few shots now. And it's also nice to see, I did see sort of in the chat, it was like, whether or not, you know, Ricky's been quite a guy who's like, I'm AWPing. And there's no real question. But it seems like he's pretty happy to rifle right now, give Payne the AWP, which I think is fantastic. You know, giving that opportunity for the player to actually play his role. Ricky can pick up the second AWP on some of those CT maps where necessary. So, yeah, hitting his shots now. Looking a lot more comfy. But 3v2. Triplus, will he spot out Payne walking into the annex here? Oh, that's an important shot to hit. Narrowly misses the second as well. Man, this CS2 AWP is a little bit of a roughie, but does manage to connect on the second. Now Rick into a 1v2. Void hasn't had the best of games either. Bomb dropped. Should be able to collect. Should be able to find that plant. But does he want to drop vent? Looks like he actually might. Void, will he hear the audible? Depends on if Rick wants to actually drop down or just wait patiently. It is all timing.
Oh, and he's made noise.
There's the
okay,
step.
so there's
There
the
it
cue
is.
for Void to jump on down and maybe catch him when the plant starts to happen by the timing. He's also made noise, so everybody breaking their legs on the middle.
And he's planted it on the other side, just goes for it. Ricky has managed to get away with murder here. Void doing some damage. Has to try and contest for it, though. Wouldn't have heard the audible there. Taps onto the defuse. Door gets open, and now he can just get playing, basically. Rick can mess around. He can have some fun. Okay, there we go. Void, a veteran in the server, takes down another. And Rick will go down, meaning that we at least get 6. Money's decent. Arcade are going to be able to buy back in straight away, but so will Mindfreak. It is a bit of a swing round, though. If Arcade find this one and there's no bomb plant for Mindfreak, maybe a round or two will come along with, but you never know.
Well, you can't say it's not an entertaining close to the round in that little one-on-one endeavor. Both players hitting the metal, revealing positions, dancing with the door. It is wall-bangable as they're both attempting to do, and Void wins it out. So a lifeline thrown towards Arcade here, Mitch, to see if they can get any extra rounds on this map. Albeit, you know, I think this is one of those situations where we can't really expect an overtime territory until it really happens. There's 6 rounds now to play with. We know there's going to be some strong buys to come through from Mindfreak in amongst those. There's not too much utility for both teams to be able to throw into the mix now either. So it's back to a bit of a standard creep in towards outers. Versa is going to look on yonder with Kobe. And apart from that, we're just going to kind of be waiting out for some utility, waiting out for some timing to see when Mindfreak want to go in towards the A side, if it does stretch back through towards Annex as well for them. You can see how reserved Kobe is falling into the buy zone of the CT side. Versa just playing behind the glass. I'm not actually sure if it's broken just yet. But again, just slow proceedings for Mindfreak. And a problem.
Never mind, Komodo. Foggers. Oh, never mind. Still alive, he was, but now it starts to get a little bit rough. Kobe taken very, very low. Void was obviously all reliable in the previous, but Ricky, he's outside in Bunnings Warehouse where shots are just the beginning, apparently. Void has to try and find it all here in this 1v4. But look, I think very well, you know, Mindfreak have wrapped this one up here. Give it a good go, lad. Payne will take it. And that's game, Komodo. So Mindfreak will walk away with the victory, leading towards a very strong prediction of yours. 13-6 is a bit of a statement. I mean, look, you know, Nuke obviously a little bit more one-sided. You very much mentioned the veto. I'll let you talk about that in just a second. But I think that was pretty clean from Mindfreak. I got a little bit not worried because obviously my prediction was over towards the Arcade